Da 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 da. Hello, welcome back to Japan Game Junk. And as many people should know, I do not like emulation. I think it's much better to collect all the classic systems and buy all the games and have a nice big collection. And yeah, well, anyway. There is, however, one emulation console I do have, and I want to really promote it because it does allow a lot of convenience without making you give up your real game collection. It looks very small, but everyone who knows about gaming in Japan should know about this. This little thing right here, so powerful. The Retro Freak. So, what you see here is new in box, usually around, say, 25,000 yen. But it does so much. I got mine for about 7,000 for what it's worth. But for what it does, it's amazing. 2 USB ports, you see that? HDMI port, memory card entry, and outlet there, and a power button. So you think, wow, well, what can this do? Well, this plays basically every 16-bit and 8-bit system, and including many of the rarer variations of each system, and it does it through the actual software, not through emulation because it does dump the ROM from your media onto the system, but it does let you play your specific real-world stuff. But how is that possible with this thing here? Well, this is just the main unit, and indeed, you can play games only with this on the memory card. Put in the power, put the button, and it makes it this tiny, basically, pack of playing cards, but thinner sized emulation console, very lightweight as well. But, and by the way, this isn't just some cheap, I'm sure it's made in China, but, Chinese knockoff Android box with retro arch emulation, whatever. This was designed with Japanese gamers in mind who want to have perfect quality, and it really is perfect quality when you play through this. But how do you play your original software? Well, in addition to this, in the package you get this, the base unit. There is one version that is Super Famicom only, but pop in here, and now you can play Sega Genesis, Mega Drive, Super Nintendo, Super Famicom, Famicom, TurboGrafx 16, PC Engine, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, all perfectly. So, already, this is pretty good for people who want to play their original games. But you can play even more games. If you attach, even one time, your Famicom Disk System RAM adapter into the Famicom slot, it will download the BIOS in here, and you can play Famicom Disk System games as well. Then, you can get one more converter, the Gear converter, pop it into the Mega Drive slot, and you can play Master System card games. You can play SG-1000 card games, SG-1000 cartridges, Mark III cartridges, Game Gear games, and of course you know that the Mark III and the Master System in other countries, they only are different based on their pin location. So you get a quick adapter for this, and now you can play foreign games as well. So this converter here, of course, very, very nice, released for the Retro Freak for that purpose. This converter also works with the Mega Drive or the Genesis, but that plays the Master System / Mark III games only. It does not play Game Gear or SG-1000 on Genesis. But there's that. Now, how do you complete that experience? Well, along with the system you can get, and indeed many of them come with, let me try to get this here, the controller adapter. So now you can control, let me put this system down, you can control with NES / new Famicom controller, Mega Drive or, Mark III controller, PC Engine TurboGrafx controller, Super Nintendo Super Famicom controller, and original Famicom controller. All working in the system with or without the cartridge adapting shell. It's wonderful. So, even though it is more expensive than some cheap Android boxes, this is, for cartridge-based or card-based media, 16 and 8-bit, the best way to play. If you don't have the original consoles, then get this. I would go so far as I'm really not into the emulation scene, that if I did not have this, I would just not even play the games I have. I don't want to like download them or whatever. I want to play the original cartridges, thus I have this if I ever need it. And there is a convenience factor, of course. Memory card there, you put on your games. My games I have on here, I've dumped on there on the memory card, the ROM directly from the actual games I own. But I know that some people will prefer to download stuff, and if you were to, for example, get this, get everything that you've seen here, or even, sad to say it, just get this only. Along with the controller adapter, you will have basically perfect gaming options at your disposal. And it includes save states and all that stuff too. So anyway, Retro Freak is the best. It's the only thing that you can really get in Japan that people will get. Other cheap Chinese options, just they don't get sold because this is what everyone wants. Even as old as it is, it's the best option for that. And until the Polymega or something similar makes it in Japan, this is what everyone uses. Retro Freak. It's a great thing to have. Anyway, just wanted to say hello to you with this so you could see it. Thanks again, and goodbye. Da 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 da.